Good afternoon. This is Marty Cavaluzzi, the president of Pierce College Puyallup, together with Joanne Beria, vice president for Workforce, Economic, and Professional Development, and Deb Gilchrist, vice president for Learning and Student Success at Pierce College Fort Steilacoom. We will set the stage for guided pathways and this afternoon's activity. In 2012, Pierce College joined Achieving the Dream, a national network of over 200 community colleges working together to help all students be more successful with a focus on equity. Last year, the college made the bold step of committing to closing specific achievement gaps by 2020. Our goals include increasing retention, increasing completion rates for all courses, and increasing graduation rates. Within those areas of retention, course completion, and graduation rates, we identified several achievement gaps in groups such as race and ethnicity, gender, full-time and part-time, and financial aid status. Even though we have raised all boats, we have not closed achievement gaps. Since we joined Achieving the Dream in 2012, we focused on 5 priority areas, the first being start to finish. The major outcomes from this priority area were mandatory orientation for new students, a mandatory college success class, within which includes career exploration, creating an education plan, and mandatory advising. And we have increased access to tutoring, the Writing Center, and supplemental instruction. The second priority area was basic skills, through which we now have innovative programs such as iTrans, Combined Basic Education and ESL classes, and the Pierce College Adult Diploma, which combines students' last quarter as a high school student with their first quarter as a college student. The third priority area was pre-college math. 2 of the major outcomes of this work include computer-based, self-paced labs, which allow students to progress through the material at their own pace, with many completing more than 1 course in a quarter, and a new shortened non-STEM math sequence, among other improvements. The fourth priority area was pre-college English and reading. 2 achievements of this work were the normalizing of outcomes and grading for English 101 and reading apprenticeship workshops. And the 5th priority area was engagement, which resulted in the creation of the Center for Engagement and Learning, the first-year faculty cohort, and the creation and training of how to use the Tableau dashboards. Phase 1, which included all 5 priority areas previously mentioned, resulted in documented increases in student success. Pierce College is certainly not the same college as it was prior to joining Achieving the Dream, and we have shown that we not only care about students, but we're making major changes to increase their success. We have accomplished a lot and we should be very proud of it. In Phase 2, which began over a year ago, we added equity as a priority area, because without looking at all of this work throughout the lens of closing equity gaps, we were not going to help all students be successful.
Hi, this is Joanne. There's been a growing body of evidence that the current configuration of ATD priorities need to be broadened to focus on the entire student journey. There is data at Pierce that supports this perspective, and we're going to look at a few of those items as we move forward. I'm going to try and channel IR here for the next few slides. The first piece of data is the SENSE survey. SENSE stands for Survey of Entering Student Engagement. It is made up of about 80 questions, and the target is new and entering students. Of those 80 questions, a number are grouped and scored together into 6 benchmarks. We're going to look at 3 of those benchmarks on the next slide. The first 3 that we're looking at are early connections, high expectations and aspirations, and clear academic plans and pathways. Pierce is shown in red on the slide, while the national average for the 2015 cohort is the light yellow. The top performing 10% of colleges is shown in blue. Pierce is only above the national average in one of these benchmark areas, which is the early connections. We've done a bunch of work in that area, and our score is up from 51.1 in 2013. So congratulations on that. But if we look at the clear academic plan and pathway group on the right, this is Pierce's lowest benchmark score by far, and it's lower than it was in 2013. It's below the national average, and it's well below the score of top performing colleges. If that's not motivating enough, here's some data that shows the average standard deviation in credits for 5 of our top enrolled degrees. The group average standard deviation is 24.2, but the weighted average is 20.8 because there are so many more AADTAs. You can see that's 877 for the 14-15 year. The 20 credit standard deviation, told you I was going to speak IR, means that around 16% of our students are taking minimally more than 5 credits more than they need to get in order to get a degree. If we extrapolate that to all degree-seeking students in a given year, that's the equivalent to over 2,600 students taking at least 8 credits more than they need by the time they graduate, or 21,000 potentially excess credits, or about $4.5 million. So we need to think about the use of time and money that our students are entrusting to us. As we circle back to the equity piece, here's one more slide. This is based on data presented by the SBCTC for students entering high versus low wage pathways. The blue line is the Washington State average, the yellow line is just for Pierce. For example, if you look at the yellow line on the far right for Pierce, Hispanic students is right at 1.5. This means the odds of a Pierce Hispanic student enrolling in a high wage pathway is just 1.5 more times likely than enrolling in a lower wage pathway. Compare that to the number for other students where the odds show they are 4 times more likely to enroll in a high wage pathway. So we have to ask, what role does equity play in designing pathways and pathways policy? And finally, our students tell us that they would like pathways. There's some quotes here on this slide that you can just read through. Lots of them are around excess credits. Some of them are around advising. Some of them are around finding things too late or having to do more credits than they had planned. Which brings us to phase 3. The activities that Marty talked about in phase 1 and 2 are well underway. Guided pathways bring the work of start to finish to a more holistic view of the student journey. It starts with how they come to us, often through basic skills and pre-college, and maps their time here until they leave us for employment and or transfer. It also includes pathways from K-12 that we already work on with dual credit. Here is a working definition of pathways. The pathways model, an integrated institution-wide approach to student success based on intentionally designed, clear, coherent, and structured educational experiences, informed by available evidence that guides each student effectively and efficiently from his point of entry through to attainment of high-quality post-secondary credentials and careers with value in the labor market. This national working definition of pathways really applies to the work that we're doing here at Pierce, and we've actually Pierceified it a little bit. In January of this year, the SBCTC sponsored a Guided Pathways kickoff event. Pierce had 25 folks attend where they learned about this national work. One of the guest speakers was a co-author of Redesigning America's Community Colleges, which discusses the gaps in ATD work and the need for the Pathways model. This Pathways model and definition is about intentionally designing opportunities for students that get them most efficiently to their goals. Pierce is certainly not in this work alone. In addition to the SBCTC kickoff at Clover Park, there was an opportunity to apply for a National Pathways project coordinated through the American Association for Community Colleges. There are several notable grant partners, including Achieving the Dream, the Center for Community College Engagement, the Center for Community College Research, etc. These sponsoring organizations are there to help the colleges succeed so that students can succeed. Each institute has a different focus and provides time for the colleges to prepare, learn, and work together. We've attended 2 Pathway Institutes already with 4 more to come, and we also have access to 2 coaches and all the national resources as part of this Pathways project. Another wonderful opportunity came along next. College Spark Washington makes grants to organizations and institutions throughout Washington State that are helping low-income students improve their academic achievement, prepare for college life, and graduate from college. College Spark funding will be used to support Guided Pathways development and implementation over the next 5 years here at Pierce. It has already supported a Pierce College summer planning session with 31 participants and an SBCTC kickoff in August. Pierce was already doing Pathways work in our professional technical areas, but there was so much more that needs to be done. We have the opportunity this summer to lead a Guided Pathways thread at the Rendezvous for Basic Skills faculty and staff, and there's so much that can be done to help students transition from basic skills to college and then from college to work or to complete their 4-year degrees. So what are the components of Guided Pathways? The elements of a Pathways model are 4 key items. You can see from the slide. The first is to design clear pathways that students can understand and that help them navigate toward their goals in the most efficient timeline. Once the pathways are designed, the next piece is to help students get on the pathway, select a pathway that is the best match for them. Some of this exploration work is being done in College 110 and in advising sessions and in a lot of other places on campus. It is an area of opportunity for us to help students get on a well-designed pathway. The third element is staying on the pathway. Some of this is work we are doing as we work on retention efforts tied to ATT. I like the concept that students are more resilient to life's buffetings if they know why they are here and are working toward clear goals. We can also help with connecting them with resources, improved scheduling, providing tutoring and support, and all the other things that are already in place. There are lots of opportunities that we can build in. The final element in the Guided Pathways design is the learning that prepares them for their next steps. Do they meet course and program outcomes? Are they ready for transfer? Are they gaining in confidence and responsibility? If we work together with the Guided Pathways model, we can expect some Pathways benefits. This is what makes me excited about the work. As we talk about social justice and economic opportunity, this is where Pathways is a return on investment. We know that we will have higher graduation rates, more on-time graduates, we'll close the achievement gap, and students will complete with fewer lost credits, saving time and money. It reminds us about why we are here and what we do to help students realize their possibilities.
Good afternoon, Pierce College. This is Deb. So in summary, our quest to enhance the student experience has goals that include streamline the student progress to goal, reduce excess credits, take a case management approach to advising and retention, early connection with an advisor that goes well beyond schedule development and deepens that experience, intrusive advising to help students stay on their path, early identification of a career goal and strengthening of career advising, faculty identifying the common courses within a career cluster to give students flexibility and a good start, faculty recommending the best distribution courses for students to take in each career cluster. Students know which courses that they're taking for their entire 2 years at Pierce, so every student has a map and can count on getting into the course. And finally, the use of data, apps, and electronic tools to assist the faculty, the student, and the advisor. So your job today is for the team at your table to create one infographic focusing on the ideal student journey. By infographic, we mean a way to visually tell the story. So your infographic can be a fabulous new tool for students or for us to use, or perhaps a metaphor that can guide us in this process. If you choose a tool, you can address one or more of the challenges ahead. What tool might be helpful for us or for students to move forward? You can solve one, or if you are super ambitious, all of the elements. If there are no limits, what does a really great tool look like? It can be a technology fix, but it doesn't have to be. It's completely up to you. And remember that one of the things about creativity is building on wild ideas, so go for it. Or think of a metaphor for any element of the student experience that we want to create. Pathways are like. Streamlining the student experience is like. Giving students a defined course map is like. How do we think of Pathways work? What are the key elements that we need to communicate to students? Perhaps you'll want to focus on one of the 4 main elements of Guided Pathways that Joanne mentioned: designing clear pathways, getting students on a pathway, keeping students on a pathway, and assuring that students are learning. Or maybe you'll choose to address an audience such as students, advisors, or faculty. The metaphor that I've been using all summer is that of a swimmer. In a large pool, the swimmer can enter any number of lanes, but a great coach really helps that swimmer pick the best lane before they take their leap, or in our case, the best course of study. The lane dividers don't go all the way to the bottom, so a student can easily move from one lane to the other, or one career cluster to another. So this graphic shows swimmers how to point their feet for speed, but we prep the path by streamlining the effort, and the coaching continues beyond entry to really help students to stay on track. I have a couple of other infographic examples, and I know you won't be able to see all of the words, but the concepts and the big ideas behind them can help you see how an infographic works. So this one has words within a shape to create the context. So you obviously know that they're talking about music here. This one illustrates a sales funnel focused on acquiring new customers and shows the many options and entry points that a salesperson has to garner customers along the way, and also shows the many things that can influence a potential customer and pique their interest in actually signing on. Or perhaps you'll think of this work as puzzle pieces fitting together to make a whole. From this one, I immediately feel the energy and interrelationship that they want to communicate. And this is a really interesting infographic from a series that the New York Times did, illustrating how the time of Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, compares to the full Olympic field in the 100-meter dash against every Olympic medalist since 1896. So they created an imaginary track with 88 lanes, one for each medal awarded in the 100-meter dash in the modern Olympics, and gave us several different visual perspectives. Here's a view from the side so that the gaps and clusters are evident and shows Usain Bolt's 3 different times in 3 different Olympics. And a fourth view compares the fastest runners in history, such as Carl Lewis, gold medalist in 84 and 88, Jesse Owens, Jim Hines, and Archie Hahn, who my 99-year-old dad remembers as the Milwaukee Meteor. He won 3 events in 1904. And on a side note, one of the really interesting things that they noted was that even with improvement in nutrition and fitness and footwear and track surfaces, just 3 seconds separate 120 years of Olympic gold medalists. So you can see that thinking visually sometimes gives us new perspectives and encourages us to really think differently about the situation that we're examining. And that's what we want to give you an opportunity to do today. So there's benefits to boiling something down to its essence. It really helps ground us and gives us direction. If we get lost, we know what we can go back to. So these professional infographic designers had fancy computers and image banks and lots of time. And today you have 4 markers, 2 crayons, a piece of chart paper, and about 20 minutes. So obviously we're looking for something very basic, a simple infographic, but more important, your energy and your creativity around this work on behalf of students. So have fun brainstorming together. The facilitators in the room will take it from here.